Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my girlfriend's plane ticket after she decided to stay longer on her trip without me? Plus update. Original post. So here's the deal. My 28 male girlfriend, 27 female of 2 years, and I planned a 2-week vacation to Italy. I paid for the flights, hotels, everything, because I make more than she does, and I wanted it to be a stress-free trip for both of us. Everything was great, until the last day when she tells me she wants to stay longer to find herself and think about our relationship without me. She didn't discuss this with me beforehand, and it completely blindsided me. I was hurt and told her that if she feels she needs time alone, then she should also be independent financially during this extension of her trip. I said I wouldn't be paying for her new return ticket whenever she decides to come back. Now she's upset, calling me unsupportive and selfish, and some of our friends are saying I'm being an a-hole because I'm leaving her stranded in a foreign country without financial help. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for her new plane ticket home after she chose to extend her trip without any heads up? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. She can find herself in her own dime. That's reasonable and fair. Now she's upset, calling me unsupportive and selfish, and some of our friends are saying I'm being an a-hole because I'm leaving her stranded in a foreign country without financial help. You have been supportive and selfish. You didn't complain or become difficult. You respected her decision to stay and find herself. Supportive does not necessarily mean you have to pay for her choices. And no, you didn't strand her in a foreign country without financial help. It was her decision to stay behind. All you did was respect her decision. However, it was not your obligation to fund her decision. She's a grown woman, which means she's responsible for her choices and her financial independence. You invited her on a couple's trip. Well, that couple's trip is over. She decided to stay on her own? That's no longer part of the deal. She has every right to stay behind. She also has the right to pay for that out of her own pocket. Has she been this manipulative before? Red flag. Let's be honest, she could find herself at home, but she chose to stay in Italy. She had a paid-for holiday, and now she's all surprised Pikachu face that won't fund a journey of self-exploration with the side of I need to think about our relationship without you? Yeah, that read, I want to bang Italian guys on your dime. Expect you to finance it because I never told you were just my sugar daddy. Have you pay for my return, and have a fully functional relationship like nothing happened when I return. Not the a-hole. You didn't leave anyone stranded. And why would you be willing to foot the bill for this extension of the vacation that you're not on? Sounds like something the person taking the extended vacation should pay for, surely. I decided to spend some more of your money isn't and shouldn't become acceptable in your relationship. I might be somewhat rough around the edges when it comes to stuff like this, but I've only ever in my life internalized and reacted to messages like, I need to find myself, or we have to take a break to think about the relationship as one thing. And that is, you do what you do, I'm moving on ahead. Don't ever act like you're in a relationship with someone who demands the right to act like they are single. I hope they don't live together. If it was her place, I'd move, take my stuff, and bolt. If it's her place, his, pack up her stuff and put it in a storage building. Change your phone number or block her. Block her on social media. She can find herself without you. Now for the update. Thank you to all the people who responded, especially the early ones who gave some outside verification of me probably not being the a-hole. I don't feel comfortable saying I'm completely blameless here, because you're only getting one side of the story and I need to take responsibility for my part in this whole thing such as it is. But I guess I never realized how good my girlfriend was at making me feel like an unreasonable person was normal and rational, and that I was the crazy one. So here's the update. We're both back in America now, and she's packing her stuff to go stay with her family for a bit until she can find a new place. Soon after I posted, it was time to go to the airport, so I did, without her. I'm one of those people who arrives really early because I never think I'll get to the gate in time because everything that could go wrong probably would go wrong. It never does, but especially with how I was feeling my luck was going, I didn't want to push it. I was there for about an hour by myself, mulling things over and talking to my mom. I looked at a couple responses to this post, but I didn't trust that I wouldn't lose it if I started responding. And I definitely didn't want to burst into tears while I was at the airport. As I was talking to my mom, my girlfriend showed up. I guess she thought I was bluffing, but had a rude awakening when the hotel staff kicked her out of the room because I'd only paid through that day. I took no small amount of satisfaction in this, not gonna lie. She'd been so concerned about the plane ticket that she didn't even stop to think about where she was going to stay. As many of you guessed, she met someone while we were in Italy. She was quick to tell me that it was just a physical attraction and that they hadn't done anything, but she had his contacts and was wanting to see if it would go anywhere. I guess that's what I get for not feeling well and wanting to stay in one night while she went out to explore. Obviously, I told her things were over between us. Even though she tried to make it sound like nothing had happened, the fact was A, I couldn't feel like I could trust her when she said that, and B, I don't really want to be with someone who feels like it's okay to still keep her options open when she's been in a monogamous relationship for the past 2 years. The flight home was awkward AF, and she tried really hard to give another pitch for why we should stay together on the drive home from the airport. I think as we got closer to home, reality started setting in, and she realized she'd just thrown a lot away. So yeah, I'm jet-lagged and physically and emotionally exhausted. I'm just kind of numb at this point. Having to sit with your cheating ex on a several-hour flight while they try to convince you how cheating wasn't that bad while you're jet-lagged AF sounds like a circle of hell. Sometimes when people really upset me, I have trouble with impulse control. There's a good chance I would have buzzed the flight attendant and stage whispered, "Can you check if anyone else is willing to trade seats with me?" My girlfriend and I broke up on vacation because she met someone she wanted to hook up with. She wanted me to pay for a new return flight and hotel, which I obviously wasn't going to do. Now she's trying to convince me cheating isn't that bad. Is there any way to help me switch seats? Please? She'd been so concerned about the plane ticket that she didn't even stop to think about where she was going to stay. Nobody can be this dumb, right? Please? Sorry to burst your bubble. If Opie's ex is like some people I know, she would have assumed that of course he would extend a hotel. He'll also come around and pay for her flight. She wouldn't leave someone high and dry like that. She'd probably half expect him to stay longer with her and have a bath ready for her anytime she came back from a D session with foreign view. And raise her adultery baby. Oh, that plane ride would have been rough. I had an ex break up with me at the destination of a road trip. She seemed to have forgotten I had driven us there. That was an awkward time. I had an ex do that, but she was the one who drove. Spent the entire 4-hour drive making pleasant small talk until we were 30 minutes away from where we were going and she dropped the "we need to talk" on me. But she said we could still be friends, and she didn't see why it had to ruin our trip that I paid for. I had an ex break up with me after picking her up from a summer intensive drama course and still expected that I'd drive her 12 hours to my family home, where we had planned she was going to stay with me for 2 weeks before flying the rest of the way across the country to stay with her aunt. Her own family home was in another country on the other side of the world. I was 21 and in love. Of course I did. I can't say I regret doing so, but I definitely wouldn't again. Last story. Update. My male 28 engagement with my partner female 27 is ruined because of a ring. Original post. My partner and I have been together for 3 years. We both love each other since the very beginning. She has brought up the topic of marriage for a while, and so I decided to propose to her last month in Korea where she grew up. I custom-made a gold ring with a ruby and 3 diamonds in each side, but asked my parents to make it with a regular jeweler's shop they've been going to for a while out of town. I also organized a professional photographer, then asked her to marry me in a traditional Korean village. She said yes, and everything went very smoothly, except that the ring was too big. She stayed a bit longer in Korea while I returned home for work. She went with her mom to a jeweler's shop the following week and asked the ring to be made smaller. The issue started when the shop attendant said the whole ring was fake. The gold, ruby, and the diamonds. I paid $1,500 for the ring. Not a crazy amount, but I thought it was a pretty ring. She went to 4 different shops, and everyone said pretty much the same thing. One shop valued the ring at only $30 to $40. My partner and her mom were understanding at first, saying that we would not have known. But when she came back from Korea, she told me that her parents were very upset about the ring, and that my parents, because they made a ring, only valued her at $30. They refused to meet my parents, which was initially organized for the end of the year. Her mom said to her that it would be better if I admitted about the fake ring with a view of buying a proper one in the future. These imply that we gave her a fake ring on purpose. My parents were very upset and told me that they won't bless our marriage. Question: is the ring really the problem here? I'm not sure how to move forward now. I never knew a ring can potentially break our 3-year-long relationship. Edit: none of us knew it was fake. A few days ago, I tested it with an X-ray at a pawn shop. The gold is real, not sure about the ruby and diamonds. I've apologized multiple times and showed them the receipt. We are both Asians. Families play a big role in our marriage. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Your first stop should be to tear down the door of your parents' jeweler. If they really didn't know, then I'd go right to the jeweler. Your parents should have their jewelry checked too. 1.5K is nothing to sniff at either. You can certainly get quality lab diamonds and rubies at that price, especially since those diamonds are quite small. Lab stones are real too, because they're structurally identical to mined ones. Either your parents are very cheap when it comes to money, or your jeweler is a scammer and a thief. Neither option is great. OP, the ring is beautiful, but I would be insulted if my parents bought a fake ring and knew it was fake. I think your parents may not like your partner and they set you up. Looks like I'm not the only one thinking that OP's parents might have purposely bought the fake ring. OP's putting too much trust in his parents, not realizing they could be trying to mess things up between the families and get OP's fiancé dump him. Mini update. Tested the ruby in the lab. It's a natural ruby from Burma. Now for the first update. An update to my previous post where my fiancé's parents are upset and accused my parents of intentionally giving a fake engagement ring. Tested it in the lab, and it's a natural ruby from Burma. They can guarantee the results and can offer insurance letter. They said there is a natural crack in the ruby and natural inclusion. Probably a jewelry expert can shed some light into what this means. Unfortunately, because the ring is now genuine, my parents are more upset about the accusation. On the other hand, my fiancé's parents don't really trust the result. This is a major trust issue. We decided to let things settle before we discuss our intention of staying together and get married. Question: any suggestion on how to approach this situation? Thank you for your update. You've handled the situation well, but if your fiancé still doesn't trust you even after you've shown her proof, it might be worth considering ending the relationship. It's possible that she's being influenced by her parents or trying to use the situation to break up with you by painting you as the bad guy. You need to sit down with her and have a serious conversation. Clearly explain to her that you won't buy her a new ring, and if she can't trust you after you've provided proof that the ring is genuine, then you see no point in continuing the relationship. She and her family should have apologized to you, and she should have defended you to her family. If she is not able to admit her mistakes, she may not be a good partner for you in the future. Your relationship with your future in-laws seems damaged beyond repair, and they might have concocted this story to convince your fiancé to break up with you. Thanks. This hits hard because of how true it is. I'm a bit disappointed that she doesn't have trust in me. We've been together for 3 years and lived together for 2. This comes off as sunk cost fallacy stuff. The time you've been together doesn't make this giant red flag, and the childish antics her family has pulled less valid. If she's not even willing to consider your point, even with expert opinions to back them up, would you trust her to make important life decisions, such as having and raising children, or major career changes which could impact the rest of your lives? Thank you for the update. Well done. You did everything right. And now you know. It's not about the ring. It probably never was. Her family will be impossible to please because they have just decided they don't like you. They will now look for another reason to hate you. So it comes down to just you and your fiancé, as it always should have been. What does she think? Does she understand how you are the victim here? Does she understand how her parents are actively trying to sabotage your relationship with her? Is she prepared to be independent from them, to ignore their advice, to defy them, to take your side, to marry you? Is she on your side? I think allowing her a couple of weeks before having that discussion is a good idea if she's living with you, but a bad idea if she's living with her parents, because her parents are pouring poison into her ears about you. Thank you. She lives with me. We have been living together for 2 years. She said the result doesn't matter anymore, but I do believe it matters. It shows how her family resolves conflicts should it arise. Excellent! But I think you are right to allow everyone to calm down first. You don't have to have that discussion just yet. Oh, I should clarify that the result doesn't matter anymore because she believes it's fake. No matter what tests we do, the jeweler stores in Korea said it was fake and she believes them. Those were her own words. Now for the final update. 3 weeks ago, we decided to take a month's break. I know taking a break is pretty much a breakup, but I said yes. I asked her today if she has spoken to her parents about the ring and about us in general. To this date, she hasn't. I have been fighting very often with my parents to defend her. My parents also got more upset when they learned she hasn't spoken to her parents at all. I asked her why, and she said at this stage she's very happy being alone because she does not have to worry about our relationship. And so I ended it. I feel like I have been fighting this battle on my own. I have had a few relationships and breakups in the past, but this time it really crushes me. So glad OP checked first with laboratories before going scorching earth with that jewelry. Looks like he got a good deal after all. For $1,500, he managed to dodge a nuclear warhead. Yes, he gave the jewelry store the benefit of the doubt more than his fiancée did him. After reading some of the other comments, I'm like 80-20 on the ex knowing they were lying, and either didn't really care about OP to begin with, or cared more about her parents' opinions than about her relationship with OP. High chances she's gonna stay single. I don't get it. The gold is real, the stone is real. Did 4 stores try to downplay the value hoping to buy the ring extremely cheap? They never went to 4 stores. OP's ex is lying. Either she's lying that she was there and believes her mother took the ring to 4 different stores, or she's lying about what the store said, or she's lying about how many stores they took it to. Because there is just no way 4 different jewelers pronounced it fake. It's unlikely even one did, but assuming they took it to a shady jeweler who was going to try to scam them out of it, then someone is lying about the other 3 stores all saying the same thing. OP was fortunate to find out now, rather than later, that he was marrying a liar and/or marrying into a family of liars. I know it sucks, but ending it now was the best thing he could do for himself.